Hi everybody, it's Mrs. Lyons here. Today we are going to talk about two types of fiction. Remember, fiction stories are stories that are not real. They didn't happen. The first type of fiction is called realistic fiction. It could happen, but it didn't. I have an example for you. It's called Jack and Jill and Big Dog Bill. This is a story about a boy and a girl and a dog who go outside and play on a snowy day. Very different from today. I'm very hot right now. Anyway, so they go outside, they have all kinds of fun adventures, and the dog doesn't talk or anything, and it could happen in real life, okay? So that's a good example of realistic fiction. The other type of fiction is called fantasy. It could not happen in real life. I have lots and lots of those. Here's an example that you all know. Can I play too? It's Elephant and Piggy. Obviously, Elephant and Piggy would never be best friends, a pig and an elephant, and they don't talk to each other, and they would never have a catch with a snake. So this is fantasy. It could never happen in real life. So I'm going to hold up some books. Before I say it, you're going to try to say realistic, if it's realistic fiction, or you're going to say fantasy, if it's fantasy. Remember, realistic fiction means it's realistic. It could happen. And fantasy means it could not happen. So lots of times animals are acting like people. Okay, here's the first one. The Berenstain Bears visit the dentist. Which one is it? Yep, it's fantasy. It's a fantasy story because bears are acting like people. Bears don't go to the dentist. Okay, here's the next one. Another snowy story. I don't know why. This is called The Snowy Day. Which one? Yep, it's realistic because this is about a boy who goes outside in the snow. He puts some in his pocket. All right, let's get another one. Here's one. Froggy learns to swim. Tricky one. Frogs obviously know how to swim, but does a frog wear swim trunks like this and a snorkel? And also this frog talks. So which one is it? Yep, fantasy. All right, let's look at the next one. This is one of my favorites. The Legend of Rock, Paper, Scissors. Yep, you're right. It's fantasy. Rock, paper, and scissors don't have a real life fight with each other, and they don't have eyeballs, and they don't talk to each other. So it's fantasy. Okay, here's the next one. Sharks. I tricked you. I hope I didn't trick you. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. This isn't fiction at all. This is nonfiction. This book is filled with facts all about sharks. So it's not realistic fiction, it's not fantasy, it's nonfiction because it's about real sharks. I hope I didn't trick you, but maybe I did. That's fun too. All right, here's another one. You probably know about Biscuit. Is this one realistic or fantasy? Tricky, tricky. I think it's realistic because what does Biscuit say in his books? Woof, woof. And do real dogs say woof, woof? Yeah. So I wasn't thinking about this, but my son Johnny was helping me collect books, and he thought that this one was realistic. And I guess he's right, because the dog doesn't act like a person. He acts like a dog. And all he says is woof, woof. So I think it's realistic. All right. Here's the next one. Ling and Ting, not exactly the same. Yep, this is realistic. This is a book about twins that obviously are similar in many ways, but are different in some ways too. And it's about some of their life. So it's realistic. It's still a made-up story. The author made it up. It's not about real people. Okay, last one. A Bad Case of Stripes. Now this is about a person. What do you think? Fiction, realistic fiction, or fantasy? Yeah, it's fantasy. Even though it's about a person, could a person really get stripes like that? And she gets all kinds of other stuff all over her too. It's pretty silly. All right. I hope you had fun playing our game.